bringing Einstein into quantum theory, which is thought to be a big no-no, that, Einstein field equation is for the big stuff and quantum theory is for the small stuff, and you don't bring classical mechanics into atomic structures.
Yeah, but don't they call it a universe for a reason?
Right. For me, it was clear that there must be a solution that accommodates both.
All those big things are made up of small things.
Exactly.
And if the small things are following certain rules, then the big things one might expect
that there should be a relationship.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a caller. Caller, you're on the air.
Aloha and welcome to Out of the Box.
Hello?
Aloha. Yeah, thanks for taking my call. I've been following a lot of your work, crossing the event horizon, Nassim, and a lot of the things you've done. And
wonderful.
It personally makes me feel good that you seem to involve a unconditional love consciousness. That the other question I have is. ET civilizations are you aware of in our Milky Way galaxy? And I can take my answers off the air.
Okay, well, thanks for the call.
What was that term he used? What kind of civilizations?
ET civilization.
Oh, ET, okay.
Yeah. Well, that's a great comment and question. I think unconditional love, first of all, it's really hard to achieve. I'm still working on that one. When physicists comes at me with words of insults, my tendency is not to be unconditionally loving at that point. So I'm still working on it, but I think that it's critical. It's critical that we realize, and really it came from all this research I've done and feeling I had from very early on that we're all connected, we're all in the same boat, we're all linked through this field, and that we're all reflections of each other, and that we should collaborate and support each other, and even when we disagree with each other, that we can find higher resolutions.
Do you want to address this second question then?
Sure.
How many ET civilizations are you aware of?
This is a touchy subject. Until fairly recently, I would not discuss these things. I knew better because I already got enough flack. But recently, I felt that it was now time. I had from very early on in my childhood direct contact with what people may think of as extraterrestrial civilization. And
well, that'll help open up your worldview a little bit.
It sure did.
Yeah.
And thinking that there's more out there than what meets the eye. And throughout my life, I had many contacts, and so I could say fairly comfortably that I was in a meeting. You could call it a meeting or a conference of the sort, where I met, I would say, over 100 different species of extraterrestrial beings. And, the diversity is extremely large. And, it's remarkable that with all the evidence that we have on this planet everywhere, ancient evidence and modern evidence of being visited by other beings from our universe, which is not so hard to imagine.
Where was this meeting?
This meeting...
Was it on the planet?
No, this specific meeting was in a ship.
Okay.
Yeah. And
how did you get there?
Well, with a smaller ship.
A smaller ship.
Yeah. And
was this a ship of your own creation, or was this someone who came and said, hey, let's go get this guy and bring him to the conference?
No, they literally came and got me and put me in the ship and then brought me to that other ship and brought me to that conference.
That seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it was extremely straightforward, and actually I was... I was cooking at the time, and I was actually worried that my meal was burning while I was having this conversation with those guys. Like I said, I have had direct contact with extraterrestrial civilizations. From straight logic, it makes absolute sense that there would be thousands, millions, billions of different civilization, even in just one galaxy.
That they can travel faster than the speed of light.
That's right. We would expect that if they can come here, that they can transcend they can transcend the speed of light. Now, is there evidence in physics that that's possible? It's clear that you can, according to our current theories, not mine, just the standard theories, and create tunnels between very far distances. So you could, basically tunnel from one to the other. And then just recently, we're starting to realize these tunnels may actually be linked to black holes, so that the black holes are like the hubs of all the tunnels that connects all things in the universe. And if atoms are black holes, then that means atoms can be the hubs too. You find this all around the world. Almost every ancient civilization around the world has a creation story that involve beings that came from the stars, sun gods, they call them all sorts of different ways, but that came not from the earth. Even in the Bible, it says that the sons of God came to the earth, so they weren't from the earth. There's so much evidence all around the world from these ancient civilizations that leads further. I mean, this might be shocking for some people. The Homo sapien might be an engineered race from an advanced civilization. A period of time in my cosmology when I started to try to run the numbers on the cosmology based on my theory, that in this period of time there would be cosmological changes in our solar system. And the reason why is that I extrapolated the structure of galaxies based on the theory I've written that involves a double torus, and there's some complexity there. But I started to try to calculate where our solar system is relative to these field interaction of this double torus that englobe our galaxy. Pinpoint when it would cross the line of forces, the high magnetic line of forces of the boundary of one of the toruses. And I came up with something along 2012 region. But it's a long region, meaning it's like at least a 10 to 15 year period.
It's an epoch.
We've had these probes that we launched some 30 years ago.
Voyager?
The Voyager probes that were able to actually get out of the heliosphere.
Yeah,
and they're still, sending data back. And we're for the first time able to look a little bit at our environment. And sure enough, they discovered that we are entering in a region of denser magnetic fields. That for me is very confirming that we are in a region of space in our galaxy which will change the dynamics of our sun, the dynamics of the level of temperatures in our solar system and so on, and we're seeing evidence of that all over our solar system. So what do I think about it? I think it's not one date. I think we're in that time. We are in that shift right now, and I think it's going to continue to shift.